Hi guys, welcome back from the ad break. Now we are on our last segment for the show. This is when we are just going to apply all the rules that we've been talking about. Guys, remember that I said always add the fourth step, right? Which is taking the answer that you got and substituting it into all the equations that you were initially given, right? Meaning the original equation rather, and then find whether the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. If it does not give you that, then it means there might be something that you did wrong. It might be an issue of a glitch with the sign, or it might be you added incorrectly, or you added the wrong number. But it is just always that minor mistake that you can quickly go back and fix. That's what they mean when they say check your answers. For now, let's look at solving algebraic equations that have fractions, right? And try to see how do we apply all these laws that I've been talking about. Let's look at it. So, the question will always be solve the following equation. Now, guys, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, here, this looks so complex. Will you even be able to do this? But very much so, you will be able to do this. Why? Because you will first need to make sure that you factorize the numerator, and then you can then work it out, right? But what I will then quickly do here is to change a number for you so that this can be factorized properly. But we have something that before I solve that, we need to remember. The issue of tipping and timesing, right, when required. So when dividing a fraction, you always need to make sure that you tipping and timesing if it is two fractions, like in this example that I started with. Oh, by the way, I thought I'm going to change something. Now that I'm seeing it, I don't need to do that. So firstly, I will take out a common factor of 4, and this will be x squared minus 1. And all of this is divided by x plus 1. And then, because of this division sign there, I must change it to a multiplication, and I must tip and times my fraction there. So this will be multiplied by 4x all over 5, right? And this will be equals to 2 minus x. I don't need to do anything there. And then you then start solving this. On the numerator there, I can factorize that. So this will be 4 into x minus 1 into x plus 1. All of divided by x plus 1. I'm sure right now you are smiling there at home and thinking, hey, now I can see the light and I can see where we are going with this. So this will be 4x divided by 5 equals to 2 minus x. Now, I should just make a disclaimer that you will see that this is going to end up being a quadratic equation, right? Which we will then look at a later stage and use the factorization rules. So this and that I will need to divide because they are the same, so they will cancel out. And then I will be left with just the 4 into x minus 1 multiplied by 4x over 5 equals to 2 minus x, right? Let me just rewrite it here so that I have enough space. So I said it's 4 into x minus 1 multiplied by 4x over 5. Let me just verify. Yes, which is equals to 2 minus x. Now to solve this, I need to get rid of the fraction, meaning the LCD is 5. If you multiply everything by 5, this will be 20 into x minus 1 multiplied by 4x is equals to, if I multiply this side by 5, it will be 10 minus 5x. And then from there, I can try simplify this. Firstly, remove the brackets, meaning it is going to be 20x minus 20 multiplied by the 4x equals to 10 minus 5x. Now, this is all good and well, right? But as soon as I multiply that 4x in there, you can already see that this is no longer going to be what? A linear equation. It's now going to be another type of equation, which we solve normally using factorization, as we spoke about when we're talking about the expressions. So this will give me 80x squared minus 80x, and then minus, or rather, let me just write it as is so that we do it step by step and don't rush it. And then you add the additive inverse on both sides. Remember why? Because I'm trying to get the x to be on one side and the values to be on one side. So it means I must add 5x there. I must also add 5x here. So that will then give me 80x squared minus 75x equal to 10. Now from here you can see I have a squared there, so it changes this thing completely. It's no longer a linear equation. So because we are still dealing with linear equations, for this, if you were given this and it's under linear equation, you would say no solution. But because you were taught by me when we did the factorizations, it then means that you can then solve this problem without any hassles. And to do that, I will divide everything by 5 because that is my highest common factor here. If I divide the 80 by 5, it will then give me, what is my 80 divided by 5 now? So this will be, it will therefore give me 16x squared minus, this will be 15x, and this will be equals to 2. And then you can then start factorizing if this is you are able to factorize this, right? But I'm just going to leave it here. Why am I leaving it here? Because we are mainly focusing on linear equations. I was just trying to show you that at times, it will not be the linear equation that we think it will be, and we must make sure that we do follow all the rules. So if you find yourself at this point and you are only focusing on linear equations, it means it is that situation where you include no solution or not applicable in that particular context. But what if we remove the division sign and now put a plus sign? What does that mean for us? Let's have a look at it. So if I remove the division, same equation, same everything, I just removed divide and put a plus. This will then give us what we really, really want. So remember, firstly, it becomes 4 into x plus 1 into x minus 1, all divided by x plus 1, and then plus the 5x over 4 equals to the 2 minus x, right? And then I need to just simplify this. The x plus 1 and the x plus 1 will divide. It means I'm left with 4x minus 4. I just multiplied in the 4 plus the 5x over 4, and this is equals to 2 minus x. And then remember, you multiply everything by the LCD as we've been doing. So far I have 4x, just to rewrite it quickly, minus 4 plus 5x over 4 equals to 2 minus x, right? Then my LCD here will be equals to 4. If I multiply everything by 4, I will get 16x minus 16 plus 5x equals to 8 minus 4x. Here, now you can see that this is definitely a linear equation. So what do? Everything that has x to the left, everything that has a constant on its own to the right. So I will start with constants and then follow with the x's. So this will be 16x plus the 5x, I'm just going to group them, minus 16, then plus 16, right, equals to 8 minus 4x plus 16. And this will give me 16x plus 5x, there will be 21x, and then equals to 8 plus 16. Let me just add it so that I don't add another step there. If I add those two, then I get 24 minus 4x. Lastly, you add 4x on both sides, so that will be plus 4x, and then plus 4x. So that will give me 25x equals to 24. And if you then divide both sides or multiply by the multiplicative inverse, it becomes 24 over 25, and that becomes my answer. Because it's a fraction, I'm just not gonna then substitute it, but you definitely need to do that. The last step is to substitute this into the original equation. Now let's summarize everything that we've spoken about, guys, so far. Remember, I said you must make sure that you identify the type of equation that you are given, right? You saw the first one, it was a division, but it ended up being a quadratic, so it is not what we are actually focusing on. And then also simplify the terms, make sure that you work out your like terms, and subtract, add where necessary. The last thing you always need to do is to collect the terms with the variable on one side of the equation and the constants on the other, and then the last thing will be to solve. What I mean by taking them to one side and another side is to make sure that your left-hand side is always the variable. Why? Because when we read out our solution, it is always is equals to 5. Is equals to 5. So we always start from the left-hand side. That's why everything that is a variable must always go to the left-hand side, and then your constant to the right-hand side. And then my last golden step will be to take your answer, substitute it into the original to find out whether the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. If it is, then it means your answer is correct. From me to you, the Maths Doctor, mathematics is food for the soul. Until I see you next time.